Good morning, Year 6. Here's your Fluent in 5 for today. Please set yourself a 5-minute timer and complete the questions. Off you go. Okay, here are your answers for Fluent in 5 for today. Please mark your work and see how many you got correct. Okay, so the focus for our learning for this week is to be looking at volume, so understanding what volume is and finding the volume of cubes and cuboids. Okay, so today we are learning to count the number of unit cubes in a solid. So we're going to start off just by looking at what a unit cube is. Okay, so here a solid is being shown and it's a cube, and we're going to call this a unit cube. And I've just got with me some ones from some Deans that I'm going to use as my cube. Okay, and this cube has square faces, and it's the square that makes up the faces, and then we have edges. Okay, and the edges are where two of the faces meet. So what I'd like you to do is just pause the video and have a think. Count how many faces are there on this cube, and then how many edges does this cube have? Okay, so let's think about the number of faces first. So I'm going to count the number of faces on my cube. Okay, so I can see here 1, 2, 3. And then if I think about, there's one on this side, one on that side, and then one underneath, so that's 3 more. So there are 6 faces on the cube. And as we've said, the edge of the cube is where the two faces meet. Okay, so if I think about edges, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I know there'll be one there, 8. And then if I think about the back of the cube, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so the cube has 12 edges. Okay, so this is just another unit cube. So this is unit cube, unit meaning 1. Okay, and we can build solids using unit cubes. So this solid is made up of 2 unit cubes. Okay, and I could show that with my little blocks that I've got. Okay, so this is a unit cube. If I add another one to it, I've now got 2 unit cubes. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is now to have a look at question 4. Quickly pause the video. How many unit cubes are in each of these solids? Okay, hopefully you've spotted that there are 3 unit cubes in each of these solids. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, etc. So they're all equaling 3, but they all look different. Okay. Right, if you have access to some like little cubes like this or something at home, doesn't have to look exactly like this, you can use these for question 5. Okay, see if you can build these shapes. If you don't worry. What you can do is just looking at the pictures carefully, count the amount of cubes used in each solid. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is pause the video and see how many cubes are being used. So here are the answers. Solid A was made up of 6 unit cubes, solid B 7 unit cubes, as well as solid C, and then solid D was made up of 8 unit cubes. You needed to be careful on solid C to include the unit cube at the back, which is hard to see. Okay, but well done if you got those correct. Okay, and for question 6, these unit cubes have been used to build this rectangular solid, and our task is to see how many unit cubes are used in order to make this rectangular solid. Okay, and the important thing to do here when counting these is to make sure that we think about and include the unit cubes which we can't see, so the ones that are at the back. Okay, so what I can do here is I can think about the ones that I can see. Okay, so if we look, sorry if I just adjust my camera, if we look carefully at these ones at the front, okay, I've got sort of a cross section of a 2 by 2 square, so there are 4 unit cubes being used here. Okay, so if I then think about this second layer, if I carefully move this first one, I've then still got my 4 cubes here, okay, and it's this cube here that I wasn't able to see when the rectangular solid was all together. And then if I take this apart again, there is another 4 cubes, okay, and once again it's this bottom cube here that I wasn't able to see when it was all pushed together. So if I put my rectangular solid back together, okay, and then count how many there are, okay, if I think about first of all the ones I can see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and if we remember there was 1 and 1 here, so 2 more that we can't see, okay, so that was 10, add 2 is 12, so there's 12 unit cubes making up this rectangular solid. Okay, and for question 7, I'd like you to have a go at doing some investigating to see how many different solids you can make using 3 and then 4 unit cubes. Okay, so it's important to remember when building your solids that the face of one of the unit cubes must be completely covered by the face of the other unit cube. You can't, for example, have half of the face covered. It has to be completely covered. Okay, so if you have something at home that you can use as like a little building block, that would be great. But if not, what you can do is just use a piece of paper and have a go at drawing the cubes. Okay, so once you've had a go at seeing how many you can find, unpause the video and see if we have the same. So here are some of the solids that I made using 3 unit cubes and then 4 unit cubes. There were some more options for the 4 unit cubes, but this is just a bit of a selection. Okay, and finally today I'd like you to have a look at these questions here, questions 8 to 11. So you will need to pause the video, count how many cubes there are. The answers can then be found on the learning presentation. And then have a go at today's tasks, which are also found on the school website. And then if you come back tomorrow, I will go through those answers. Good luck.